Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, welcome back to Stormgate Central. So today I have another cast for you guys. This is one of the late qualifying matches for the EGC tournament that has just concluded, and it actually saw Parting being the overall winner there, so congratulations to Parting. But down here in the bottom left, we have Probe. Obviously Probe, a StarCraft 2 player, fairly young guy, I believe he plays Protoss, and he has played a fair amount of the Stormgate beta through its various iterations. And up in the top right here, we have Skillous, also a StarCraft 2 player. So this is actually the qualifier for all of the StarCraft 2 players who were playing at IEM Katowice. They kind of got in late here to the EGC tournament and had a little opportunity, I believe this was on the Friday and the Saturday, to qualify for the main tournament, for the finals. This is one of those games. Now, when it comes to Skillous, I'm not sure how much experience he actually has of playing Stormgate. Probe, on the other hand, has a considerable amount of experience. He also has some really great guides, by the way, over on his YouTube channel. So let's get into this one here. We see both players seem to be doing fast expansion builds here. This is pretty standard, honestly, on some of the larger maps that, well, the maps that aren't Jagged Moor, which is kind of one of the more outliers there that's sort of unusual and can end up in a lot of those weird catapult rushes. But this map is called Broken Crown Hinterlands. I'm sure you guys have seen a bunch of games on this one, so nothing too strange or out of the ordinary yet. Seeing some dog harass go on for both of the players there, but I don't think we've seen any major kills. So Probe throwing down a barracks here. No workers yet on the Therium, and it seems like Skillous is also going to be throwing down his racks. Oh, wait a minute. What is going on here, though? He's putting 4 workers on the Therium. That is very interesting. Generally speaking, if you're going to be going Lancers, and you're going to be going for some sort of a macro build with that early Lancer aggression so that you can get out on the map, take the resource camps and that sort of thing, you only really need like the 1 worker on Therium. He's now gone all the way up to 5, so that probably means he's going to be going for the upgrade on the command post, upgrading that to a central command, and I would wager here he wants to get out some Hornets, and he's going to be going for a hangar bay. Probe, on the other hand here, is this another Rax? This is a biokinetic slab and another Rax, so he is definitely going into bio here, 4 workers on the Therium. So, probably not Lancers. It looks like it's going to be Exos from him. You really don't need that many workers on the Therium if you're just going for Lancer production and the Lancer upgrade. And in that case, you're better off saturating your Luminite. But as we see, he's got 8 and 8 on the Luminite here. So, probably going to see an upgrade starting from the Biolab any second now from Probe. And is this the hangar bay coming down for Skillous? I think it probably is. Yep, that is 100% a hangar bay. So we are going to see some fairly early Hornet harassment. This has become somewhat of a semi-standard thing for Vanguard players to do these days. The Hornet, of course, in the latest patch, did see a little bit of a nerf. I believe the damage on them was reduced, or the air-to-ground damage, I should say, was reduced down from 12 damage to 10. So a little bit of a nerf, but they are certainly still extremely viable. So no aggression yet from either side. We do see Probe with a couple of Lancers and his starting dog that has got 1 tick on the veterancy. I guess he's a private now. Private Doggo moving out on the map here and taking some of the camps. It looks like he's stolen the resource camp there. Hasn't taken his own resource camp though, funnily enough. And Probe here doing a great job just scouting, making sure that his opponent doesn't have that 3rd base yet, or checking what's going on there. You can actually sort of ping with the dog scout ability down there and see what's going on in the main. You can't, of course, see through the fog of war, but it will ping all of the units, so you can easily see if your opponent has taken the natural here and how many workers they have on the Luminite. But the first Hornet is moving across the map here, and we're going to see if Skillous can get any work done. Trying to get a nice little pick there on that first initial Bob, working his way over to the Therium, and he is going to get that. But I have to say, you know, whilst it can be effective to get out early Hornets, the cat's out of the bag now. Skillous comes in here with a 2nd Hornet, but Probe knows exactly what is going on. It looks like he didn't scout this before, but he's now throwing down a turret And he's already got a turret in the main with an Exo in there. And now he's got a turret in the natural with an Exo as well. So that is pretty much going to completely shut down that harassment from Skillous. And now I really don't know what he does with this. Like I mentioned before as well, it does seem that more Exos are coming out for Probe here. So, you know, Exos are pretty damn effective against Hornets. Hornets, they're okay if you can gang up with a bunch of them on like a single Exo, maybe pick some Exos off going across the map. But aside from that, they really don't do a lot. Now, this is very interesting. It seems like Skillous maybe realizes that this aggression isn't going to work, and he's now transitioning into what looks like Atlases. So we see a mech bay here, and the machine shop. I kind of forget the name of this upgrade building here, but this is the building that allows you to build the Atlases and also get the upgrade for all of the vehicles that come out of the mech bay, like the Vulcans and the Atlases, etc. He is getting a second turret here in the natural, putting both of those Lancers in there to get the Buzzsaw Cannon. I guess he's worried about some aggression. Nothing here in the main though, so that is completely undefended, and he's looking to want to secure a third. Now, it could well be that Skillous, he probably hasn't had as much opportunity as Probe to, you know, really get to grips with Stormgate yet and understand the meta of the game. The meta is changing all the time. In fact, just watching some of the games at EGC, it was pretty much changing before our eyes, and you could see as soon as somebody figured out a new strat, all of a sudden, all of the players were doing it. So, Pro with a nice move here. He's just run a Lancer, and when the Lancers, of course, take damage there, that kind of triggers the upgrade that increases, I think it's called Kinetic Redirection. That triggers that, increases their movement speed and their attack speed, and he's just going to use that to scout the base there, but I'm kind of missing what's going on at the third here. Probe is going to be moving on in and having a little bit of a poke. Those two turrets, though, and of course the Atlas there between the trees, are going to be able to defend that. Now, making use of that hangar bay, Skillous, of course, has gotten out an evac, so we are going to see some interesting Atlas drop play here from Skillous. Let's see what he's able to make do with these. You know, Probe here, he's out in the middle of the map. He looks like he's wanting to poke in the base of Skillous into the natural here and try and take control. But he's going to stop and drop and take out the Exo there. He realizes that this drop has been scouted. Is he going to use this to defend, or is he going to go and try to take Probe back home and do some damage in his base? Probe's there. This is not going to work for Probe here. Two Buzzsaw Cannons will absolutely shred through those Exos. The Atlas is now coming into the natural of Probe, and this is actually a really common position. Oh, nice save with the shield there. Those Atlases would have definitely... And the Hangar Bay return home comes into action there. That shield was actually really, really cool there. That guy would have 100% died to those Exos. So what you can do with all of the air units for the Vanguard is you can actually tell them to return to the hangar. And as you can see, when they do return, they will start to heal up. The caveat is you can't move this unit away from the hangar bay until it is fully healed. So that evac is stuck there now with the Atlases inside of it. And Probe, he's just going to hang out on the map, man, and continue to keep the map control, continue to expand as he now takes his fourth, and he's looking in pretty good shape. What is he making back home here? Couple more barracks. How many barracks is he on here? He's got 3 in the natural, 1 in the main, and then 2 at the third. So he's up to 6 Raxes now. So I was about to say, I fully expect Probe to go into medtech production here. That is exactly what we see him doing. The medtechs are super, super valuable. And in fact, once you get that critical mass of medtechs, you know, maybe 4 to 6 medtechs, something around that number, they're pretty much, I don't want to say like unstoppable, but they can be extremely powerful with a lot of Lancers on the ground that have that kinetic redirect. They've also got the passive trait that reduces all incoming damage by 3. But meanwhile, Skillous is going to continue to harass Probe here with the Atlases, but he really doesn't have... Oh my god! Is this going to get picked off by... Oh, that was an awesome move. So, Probe there, he must have already fully upgraded the medtechs. System Shock actually increases the movement speed of your units. And so that's what he did there. He went and casted System Shock on the Exos, sprinted forward, and just took that dropship out there, or the evac out, I should say, with the Atlas inside. Really, really nice move by Probe, and he's just going to push straight up into the building third of Skillous here, and maybe even into the natural. And I think this is going to be GG, man. I really don't see how Skillous can hold this. He's really got some nice tech out here with the Atlases and the evac and even the Hornets, but his ground army is kind of lacking. I mean, look at this number of medtechs down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 medtechs. Not only do the upgrades for the medtechs give you the abilities, but they also increase the energy regeneration. And I mean, if you look here, like, look how fast that energy is regenerating. I wish I could click on some of these units and get some information, but at the moment, guys, the replay functionality in Stormgate is somewhat rudimentary, as it is still a beta, so that's something we can look forward to. Probe, meanwhile, pushing into the fourth of Skillous, taking down the evac, and the Hornets go down as well, and I don't see that there's any way for him to come back here. There are a bunch of Exos finally out for Skillous, but I think it's going to be too little too late, and Skillous has left the game. I'm sure he went ahead and called a GG there as well, but I don't think that's something you can see in the replays. In any case, GG, well played to Pro. We are going to move on to the second game here on the next map. Alright guys, moving on to game 2 here, we have Probe once again as the blue Vanguard down in the bottom left. Skillous, of course, in the top right. We are going to see if he can make a comeback in this game. New map here, of course. We are playing on Secluded Grove, which has this iconic expansion in the center, double Luminite mine, double Therium patches, so definitely a really nice expansion to take there. And Skillous, once again, going to be coming in with a dog and just getting a little bit of light harass off there. I guess he sent his dog over much earlier than Probe's. Probe is doing a good job of scouting around. I think he's maybe looking, he's looking for that early Luminite. So there are certain spawns on this map where you can find resources, not just Luminite, but also Therium. And Probe knows where those spawn locations are, so he's just sending his dog around the map looking for those resources. And it looks like once again here, both players going to be going for that early expansion. Question is Skillous going to try his luck with the Hornets again, or is he going to think better of it and go into, well, who knows what, maybe some Atlases with dropships again? That'll be interesting to see very, very early on. In fact, you know, that is one of the tactics, or one of the builds that I've been meaning to try myself, just like as getting Atlases out as early as I possibly can in an evac and seeing what I can make happen with them. But hey, Skillous is probably far more equipped to do that than I am. So Probe looks like he is probably going to be going into bio again. We do see a barracks come down. And a barracks is coming down for Skillous as well. Definitely a little bit later than Probe's. How are we doing on the Bob count here? 5 on Luminite and 8 plus 2. So 15 workers for Probe. 5 plus 8 plus 2 for Skillous. So they are certainly neck and neck right now, as we see these scouts here go head to head, and it looks like Probes does have a teeny little bit more health than Skillous is, so he is going to be caused, or forced I should say, to back off. Biokinetics lab now coming down for Skillous here, so it looks like he is going to be going bio. We're not going to see anything too funky as Probe destroys this, I don't know, like this cracked ground, whatever you want to call this, that covers the Therium. For those of you who aren't aware, if you don't destroy this, it actually can't propagate and start spreading the Therium around. So the earlier you do that, the better. And as we can see on Skillous' side of the map, he has actually not done that yet. So it may just be that he's unaware of that, as he hasn't had as much experience playing this game as Probe has. It looks like both players here are going for pretty much the same build. So we've got the biolab, couple of barracks. What have we got for Skillous over here? Couple of barracks and a biolab, which is of course researching. Third barracks actually, it looks like, coming down here for Skillous, unless it's, yeah, it is a barracks. It's always funny because you can't see in the replay functionality what the building is by clicking on it. When you see it start building, you really don't know what it's going to be until you until you see that outline there. So both players here are going to be looking to take their vision camps. Definitely something very important on this map, because you do get this very large vision radius that sort of goes halfway around the side of the map here, or around the side of your natural expansion, I should say. So, you know, it really does let you keep an eye on what your opponent is doing. Are they coming into attack from this side, or are they going to come into this side? So you at least want to have your vision camp back home. Actually, it seems like he's just killed the chickens but not taken the camp. I don't think he realizes that you have to actually walk into the camp to take it. Is he going to get it? He doesn't see it, man, and he's engaging Probe over here. But Probe already has Exos out, and by the looks of things, they're already upgraded rather, with the quick draw hustle. So, you know, Lancers are pretty good, but against Exos, they really do die pretty quickly. Even with the upgrade that increases their movement speed to sort of close the gap there up to the Exos, you really do have to be careful. And I think we're going to see Probe go into this sort of 4 racks heavy Exo play that we saw him do in the last game. And he's just kind of hanging back, man. You know, he's not being forced into attacking. I think he knows that he's ahead here. He's killed a couple of Skillous' units, and I really like this from him. Just, you know, keep the map control, keep moving around, keep on taking expansions. You know, when you're ahead, all you really need to do is get more ahead. So there's no need to make and do anything rash here, as we see some of these Lancers come in here from Skillous, but there's just way too many Exos. If he turns around and decides to take this engagement, he's going to lose a lot of Lancers. However, he is taking the middle expansion. If this goes unscouted by Probe, if he manages to defend this tree line and keep this out of the vision of Probe, then I think this could be very dangerous for Probe. Pretty much whichever player gets that expansion, they are going to win the game. As we see Probe now engaging though, and he's just going to give chase here, and he's going to gun down all of these Lancers if Skillous isn't very, very careful. He's also made a massive mess up, for lack of a better word, and he's let Probe take the vision camp because he didn't cap it himself. So I think it is definitely fair to say that Probe has a lot more experience in this game than Skillous does, even though Skillous is a very talented StarCraft 2 player himself. And like I said before, man, like, he knows he's ahead, he's taking the health camp here, and I actually really like this play as well. Instead of rushing out medtechs and getting that early central command, which is, you actually need to upgrade the command post to central command to get the medtechs, he's just going to make use of the health camps instead. You don't necessarily need medtechs to heal your army if you have the map control and you can move around and make use of those health camps. Meanwhile here, though, this middle expansion has still gone unscouted, I believe, but Probe is going to be walking straight into the natural. Skillous is going to have to come and defend this, but what has he got? He's got like a couple of Lancers here in the main, and then he's got like a few here and a single Exo, and there's, I don't know, there's a few a few Lancers here to the west as well, but I mean, his army is just kind of all over the place, and Probe just has what looks like 20, maybe like 15 to 20 Exos, and he's just going to go and pick everything off. And now he sees the expansion, he sees the Bob going in there to join his Bob buddies, and the jig's up, mate. It looks like Probe is just going to take this one as well. I really don't want to see what you can do against this many Exos, and all of Skillous's Lancers are going to get absolutely obliterated. So Probe here showing how it is done and just how powerful those Exos can be. And he's got to take this middle expansion. There is just nothing left, man. I think this is GG, guys. What is happening down here, though? Completely missing this. There's a Lancer run by in the natural of Probe, but again, he's got some Exos back home. How many barracks does he have? Skillous has left the game, so GG. Probe wins this one. I mean, he's got 2 barracks there, and he's got 1 in the main. So 4 barracks there. Pretty solid versus 1, 2, 3. Jesus! Okay, Okay, it looks like Skillous kind of went barracks mad here. He's running 7 racks on 2 base at the moment. So, interesting game there. Like I said, I definitely think some people have played a lot more Stormgate than others, so Probe had a pretty easy time of this one. But nevertheless, it just goes to show how powerful those exos can be. So GG's, well played to Probe. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, do not forget to hit that subscribe button for more Stormgate casts in the future. But otherwise, have a good day, guys, and I will see you in the next one.